It's easy to see how, as we get older, maintaining our independence becomes one of the most important things we strive for. And financial independence plays a huge role in that. The freedom to make our own choices, to live comfortably, and to enjoy our lives without constantly worrying about money. It's something we all want. But, as the years go by, it can feel like that dream is slipping away, especially when you're not sure how to handle the changes that come with aging. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 smart financial tips that can help you stay independent in your later years. These are simple but powerful strategies, ones that I truly believe can make a big difference. Now, I know that managing finances might feel overwhelming sometimes, especially if you're living on a fixed income or dealing with unexpected costs. But these tips are designed to help you feel more secure, to regain that sense of control over your financial future, and ultimately, to live the kind of life you want in your golden years. We're not going to get into complicated investments or anything that feels intimidating. Instead, I'm going to break down 3 easy-to-implement ideas that you can start using right now. Let's dive in and see how small changes can create big shifts in your financial freedom. The first tip I want to share is something that might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful: creating a budget and sticking to it. Now, I know many of you might already be familiar with budgeting. Maybe you've done it in the past, or you've heard about it countless times. But here's the thing. It's not about creating a super strict or complicated budget. It's about knowing where your money is going and being mindful of your spending. At this stage in life, it's all about making your money work for you. If you don't have a clear picture of how much you're spending and where, it can be really easy to let small expenses add up and sneak away from your savings. And over time, those little leaks in your finances can really add up. So, let's break it down together. Start by writing down your income. This might seem obvious, but it's important to know exactly what you have coming in every month. Then, make a list of your regular expenses, things like utilities, groceries, rent or mortgage, insurance, and any other fixed costs. Once you have that, you'll want to take a closer look at where you might be able to cut back. Maybe there are subscriptions or services you don't use anymore. Or perhaps you could save a little by shopping smarter. But it's not just about cutting back. It's also about being strategic with your spending. For example, have you thought about buying in bulk or shopping at discount stores? It's all about being mindful of your choices and making sure you're spending in a way that supports your goals of staying independent. The goal here isn't to deprive yourself, but to find balance. Yes, you want to live comfortably, but you also want to make sure that you're managing your money in a way that supports your long-term security. Once you get in the habit of tracking your income and spending, you'll find that it becomes easier and more intuitive. And trust me, having this clarity will bring you peace of mind and give you more control over your finances. The second tip I want to share with you is about avoiding debt. I can't stress enough how important it is to be cautious about accumulating unnecessary debt, especially as you get older. It's easy to fall into the trap of relying on credit cards or loans, especially when unexpected expenses come up. But over time, high-interest debt can quickly drain your resources and take away from your ability to stay financially independent. The good news is, there are some practical steps you can take to keep your debt in check. The first thing I'd recommend is taking a close look at any existing debts you might have. If you have credit card balances or loans, try to prioritize paying them off. You might not be able to pay everything off at once, but focus on getting rid of the high-interest debt first. Even if you can only pay a little extra each month, it will make a difference in the long run. Another way to avoid debt is by having an emergency fund. Now, I know this can seem like a big challenge, but even saving a small amount each month can give you a buffer when life throws you those unexpected curveballs. Maybe it's a medical bill or a home repair. Having a safety net means that you won't need to rely on credit or loans when something unexpected comes up. And if you already have an emergency fund, try to make sure it's big enough to cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I know it can be hard to think about saving for those rainy days, especially when you're on a fixed income, but the peace of mind that comes with knowing you have money set aside for emergencies is priceless. It will allow you to handle life's challenges without feeling trapped by debt. So, to recap, the first 2 tips are about creating a budget that works for you and avoiding unnecessary debt. These two strategies are the foundation of financial independence. They give you clarity, control, and the ability to make smart decisions that will keep you secure. Now that we've covered these first 2 points, let's move on to the third tip that can really help you maintain your independence. Now that we've talked about creating a budget and avoiding debt, let's move on to the third and final tip that will help you stay independent in your later years, making your money work for you through passive income. This might sound like a concept that's only for people with a lot of money to invest, but I promise you, it's not. The truth is, there are many ways to generate income without having to work a 9-to-5 job, and these options are more accessible than you might think. At this stage in life, having a source of passive income can provide a huge sense of security. The idea is to set up income streams that don't require constant, hands-on effort. Think of it as money that comes in while you're not working for it directly. This allows you to maintain a sense of financial freedom and independence without feeling like you need to constantly be on the clock. One simple way to start creating passive income is through investing in dividend-paying stocks. I know, it sounds intimidating at first, especially if you're not familiar with investing. But let's break it down into easy steps. Dividend-paying stocks are shares in companies that pay you a portion of their earnings, usually on a quarterly basis. This could be a great way to generate regular income from your investments without having to sell your stocks. You don't need to have a huge amount of money to get started. There are many online platforms that allow you to buy stocks in smaller amounts, and you can start with a modest investment. The key here is to do your research. Look for companies with a solid track record of paying dividends consistently. And, if you're uncertain, consider speaking to a financial advisor or someone who can help guide you on the best options for your situation. Another way to generate passive income is by considering renting out part of your home. If you own your home and have some extra space, this could be an excellent way to create a regular stream of income. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to rent out your entire home. Maybe you have a spare room or a separate guest house that you could rent out. Or, if you live in an area where short-term rentals are popular, platforms like Airbnb can help you connect with potential guests. This can not only give you some extra cash each month, but it also keeps you in control of your living space. And don't worry, you can set the terms that work best for you. If you prefer short stays or just want to rent out for a few months at a time, it's totally up to you. The key is to find a balance that makes you feel comfortable and doesn't add more stress to your life. If renting out space isn't an option for you, there are still many ways to get creative with generating income. For example, you could sell products or services online. Maybe you have a hobby or a talent, like knitting, crafting, or writing, that you could turn into a small business. There are so many online marketplaces now that make it easy for anyone to set up a shop and start selling. It doesn't have to be a huge enterprise, but even small sales can add up over time. And the beauty of selling online is that you can do it from the comfort of your home, without a big-time commitment. You could also consider creating digital products, things like ebooks, online courses, or printables. If you have knowledge or skills in a particular area, why not share it with others? This can be a great way to earn money passively, as once the product is created, it can continue to sell over time. With platforms like Etsy, Udemy, or Teachable, it's easier than ever to set up your products and start earning money on your terms. Now, I understand that some of these ideas might feel a little out of reach, or maybe you're hesitant about diving into something unfamiliar. And that's okay. The goal here is to start thinking about ways to make your money work for you. It doesn't have to be a massive leap. Even small steps in the right direction can help you get closer to financial independence. As you think about these options, remember that building passive income doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to learn. But it's absolutely doable, and once you set up a stream of passive income, it can give you a sense of financial freedom that can be so empowering. Now that we've covered the basics of budgeting, avoiding debt, and creating passive income, let's take a step back and reflect on why these tips are so important. In the later years of life, many of us find ourselves facing changes that can make us feel vulnerable, whether it's health challenges, the loss of a spouse, or the uncertainty of the future. But by being proactive with our finances, we can ease some of that stress and maintain a sense of security. Financial independence is one of the key factors that will help you keep living life on your terms, no matter what age you are. And here's the thing, it's never too late to start. Whether you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it's possible to make smart financial decisions that will have a positive impact on your life. By taking control of your budget, avoiding unnecessary debt, and finding ways to generate passive income, you'll create a solid foundation for your financial future. And when you do that, you can focus on enjoying life, spending time with loved ones, traveling, or simply doing the things that make you happiest without the constant worry about money. Remember, these small steps can make a big difference in maintaining your independence and living a life that's full of possibilities. So, as we wrap up this second part, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on where you are financially. Are there areas where you could improve? Are there opportunities to make your money work for you? Whatever your situation, know that you have the power to take control and create the future you want. Stay tuned as we continue this conversation in the next part, where we'll dive into more practical tips that will help you build a solid foundation for financial independence. We've covered a lot of ground already, and I hope you're feeling inspired to take control of your finances. By now, you've learned the importance of creating a budget, avoiding unnecessary debt, and exploring passive income options to ensure your financial independence. But as we near the end of this discussion, I want to leave you with one final, crucial point that will help you stay independent in your later years: planning for the future and protecting your assets. As we age, it's natural to think about the legacy we want to leave behind, both for our families and for ourselves. Part of that is making sure that your hard-earned money is protected and that your wishes are clear. Planning ahead can provide not only peace of mind, but also ensure that you remain independent in ways that go beyond just finances. One of the most important aspects of this is estate planning. I know that for some of you, the idea of planning your estate might feel like something far down the road. But in reality, starting early can save you and your loved ones a lot of stress in the future. This doesn't mean you need to have a complicated plan in place right away, but having a basic understanding of how you want your assets to be managed in the event something happens is crucial. The first step in estate planning is creating a will. A will is a legal document that specifies how you want your property, assets, and belongings to be distributed after you pass away. It's not just about money. It can also include your personal items, your home, or even your digital assets, like photos or online accounts. Having a will in place gives you the peace of mind that your wishes will be carried out and helps avoid confusion or potential conflict down the line. Next, it's important to consider setting up powers of attorney. A power of attorney is a legal document that allows someone you trust to make financial or healthcare decisions on your behalf if you are unable to do so. This is essential for ensuring that your affairs are handled according to your wishes, especially if you become incapacitated. It's important to choose someone who understands your values and is capable of making sound decisions. This can be a family member or a trusted friend, and it gives you the confidence that your interests will be protected. Another part of planning for the future is setting up a living will or an advanced healthcare directive. This document outlines the kind of medical care you would want or not want if you were in a position where you couldn't express your wishes. It can be a difficult conversation to have, but it's an important one. Having a living will ensures that you maintain control over your healthcare decisions, even if you are unable to communicate them yourself. It can give both you and your loved ones peace of mind during difficult times. While estate planning can feel like a daunting task, it doesn't have to be complicated. The key is to take small, manageable steps and know that there are professionals, like estate attorneys or financial advisors, who can guide you through the process. And remember, these actions not only help you protect your assets, but also help preserve your independence. The more you plan ahead, the less you'll have to worry about the future and the more confident you'll feel in your ability to live life on your terms. I also want to touch briefly on downsizing as another way to maintain financial independence. As we get older, it's natural to think about simplifying our lives, maybe even moving to a smaller home that's easier to maintain. Downsizing can help free up equity from your current home, lower your living expenses, and allow you to enjoy a simpler, more manageable lifestyle. It's a great way to reduce stress and create more financial flexibility. Downsizing doesn't necessarily mean you need to sell your home and move into a small apartment. It could be as simple as making adjustments to your current living space. Perhaps you no longer need the extra bedrooms or the large yard. Making smart decisions about where you live and how much space you really need can provide a great deal of freedom. And if you do decide to sell your home, it can give you the financial cushion you need to enjoy your later years without the burden of expensive maintenance or high living costs. In the end, staying financially independent in old age is about being proactive. It's about understanding where you stand today and taking the necessary steps to protect your future. Remember, it's never too late to start. No matter where you are in life, there are always steps you can take to make your money work for you. Whether that's budgeting, avoiding debt, creating passive income, or planning ahead for the future, each step you take brings you closer to the independence you deserve. To wrap things up, I want to remind you that small changes can make a huge difference. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing what you can and making steady progress. Take control of your finances, make smart decisions, and protect your assets. The more you plan, the more freedom and peace of mind you'll have. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are so many resources available to help you along the way, from financial advisors to estate planning attorneys. Don't hesitate to reach out for help or guidance. It's your life, and you have the power to make it the best it can be. If you found these tips helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of the financial strategies that have worked for you? Please share your thoughts, and if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. Here's to living your best life at any age, independently, confidently, and with peace of mind. You've got this.